The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Pit Life BBQ podcast. Join us around the pit as we talk all things barbecue. Now here is your host, Johnny Mags.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life BBQ podcast, coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire. Chrissy, what is going on?
Johnny Mags, another beautiful day in the studio. How are you?
We're finally getting there. The weather's about to turn.
I went outside earlier. It's damn cold still.
Yeah.
It's really cold. I went out without my jacket thinking, like, it's getting better. And I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Go back inside. A terrible idea.
It's not that bad. I broke out the shorts yesterday. I was all types of happy.
Come on, I'm the Aussie lightweight here. I got nothing.
Hey, I can't control where you were born, okay?
Oh.
You want to live in 3,000 degree weather? Be my guest.
Yeah, you guys can't handle the heat. I can't handle the cold.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I can deal with it, I suppose. There's Mrs. Mags, Daddy Dutch, C-Mac. What's happening? So, I am so excited about today.
I know.
This is gonna be great. And like I said in the promo on the post, this is a very special episode. Everybody I've talked to, especially the boys in the Texas area who really have the great opportunity to cook this event, says that, and it's, you've heard it on different ones, but it rings true on this. This is a very different and special cook-off.
Oh, yeah.
That we're going to talk about today. And, just a week or two before I left for Houston, I got a message from Jenn on Instagram, and we were chatting back and forth, and we had the opportunity to meet up while I was down there, and this is going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
So without any further ado, Chrissy, let's get down to this.
Yeah, today's sponsor number one, because he's number one in our hearts and in our shake cupboards. Uncle Steve's Shakes. Today's show is brought to you by the number one best tasting shake on the planet, Uncle Steve's Shake. Uncle Steve's Shake is handmade, hand measured, hand mixed, and hand packaged. Uncle Steve's Shake is made with the finest of ingredients and comes in 13 amazing flavors as of last week. 14 in the making, we hear, I think. Is that right, Johnny?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Potentially.
Including
the competition line and the incredible dessert shake. And don't forget the new addition to the not shake family, but sauce family. Uncle Steve's, the sauce with no name, my personal favorite. No matter what you are eating, Uncle Steve has a shake for it. If you have any questions, Uncle Steve has great customer service to help you with all your shake needs. Go to UncleSteveShake.com to order your shakes today. Also on the website, you're going to find some fantastic shake tips and recipes. You'll be amazed at just how versatile Uncle Steve's shakes are. I'm having trouble saying that. I keep saying Uncle Steve. We'll just pretend I have an accent. And while you're online, head on over to the Facebook page and join Uncle Steve's Shake Nation to stay up to date with all the latest creations made using Uncle Steve's Shakes and maybe share some of your own. It's time to step up your backyard barbecue and your competition barbecue game with Uncle Steve's Shakes. Uncle Steve's Shake. Shake some on everything.
And don't forget, right on the website, get yourself a bottle of CJ's West Coast Shake.
Yes.
It is going like wildfire. So make sure you get yourself a bottle of that. Today also brought to you by Two Guys Smoke Shop and TwoGuysCigars.com. Whether I'm barbecuing or not, I always keep the smoke rolling. Thanks to my friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. Today I am smoking the 22 North by 83 West. I have smoked this for years. This was one of the very first cigars I've ever had once I started coming to Two Guys. It is tremendous. Thanks to my friends at TwoGuysCigars.com, I get to smoke some of the best cigars in the world, and so can you. Just visit twoguyscigars.com for your perfect barbecue companion. That's the number 2guyscigars.com.
Today's show also brought to you by Magna Chef Gloves. Whether you are the family grill master or a professional pit master, quality tools make it easier for you to be your best at the grill. Longtime firefighter and founder of Magna Chef, Al Infante, knows a thing or two about fire management. He designed the Magna Chef gloves and the Freedom barbecue gloves for you to get in and out get in and out of fast. What is wrong with me today? With the magnetic swivel plates, you can easily slip in and out of these gloves. They will keep your hands cool and allow you to cook and grill safely. No more getting stuck in hot gloves. Depending on your glove preference, Magna Chef has two fantastic options for you. The classic Magna Chef barbecue gloves, made of food-grade silicone, web-fit, for a firmer grip, dishwasher safe, one size fits all, heat rated to 500 degrees. And they also have the Freedom barbecue gloves, which have the 5-finger flexible and pliable grip, 14-inch long cuff to protect your forearms, made of heat-resistant neoprene, heat rated up to 932 degrees Fahrenheit. These gloves help extend your time over that fire. Both styles of Magna Chef gloves are great for barbecue and kitchen use. Head on over to magnachef.com, that's MAGNE chef.com, to order yourself both pairs today. And and at the checkout, make sure you use the promo code FREEDOMLIVES for 10% off your order. Magna Chef barbecue gloves, master the fire, and Freedom barbecue gloves, take a stand, free your hand.
Also brought to you by CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com. Ian Hemming out of Magnolia, Texas, is producing what I consider the Yeti of cutting boards. These boards take an absolute beating. I'm on my 5th year with these boards, and they're still in incredible shape. He's got from the dishwasher board, so your standard countertop board, to the absolutely massive 18 by 36 brisket board. This board makes a 25-pound turkey look like a chicken. The board is that big.
It is huge.
And if pizza's more your thing, which pizza is the new craze, especially in the competition world these days, he's got you covered on that. He's got his pizza board for the perfect slice every time. Check them out at CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com. The deep reservoir lip to catch all the juicy goodness. The rubber nubs on the bottom, so even on a wet surface, the board will not slide on you. No accidental trips to the emergency room because it was a little wet and the board went haywire.
Yep.
So check them out at CustomCuttingBoardsRUs.com and tell them I sent you. Yeah. All right, Matt Pereira, what's happening? Lep, what's going on? All right, let's go. I can't wait to hear everything, get more information on the Danny Dietz Memorial Classic Cookoff. And we're going right to the source.
Who else would you talk to about this?
The one and only, my new best friend who picked me out of the entire Houston Livestock and Rodeo Show crowd just by my voice, the one and only Jenn Leigh. What's up, darling?
Hello, dear. How are you?
I am fantastic. How's it going?
It's going well. Going well.
All right. So how I always start off is, please tell us a little bit about you and how you got into this wonderful barbecue world of ours.
Oh, man. It's an interesting journey. I've been in the pipeline industry my entire life, oil and gas, and happened upon, through some mutual friends, that this event was happening and they were in need of sponsors, like most cook-offs are always. And the company that I was working for at the time, big supporters of first responders and military veterans. So started working with them, sponsored the cook-off. That was in 2016, I believe. Just came in as a sponsor. and it just kind of evolved. Each year I volunteered a little more. I got more involved. Some previous promoters stepped away from the event. And during COVID, when that all kind of kicked off, they weren't sure we were going to be able to have the cook-off, obviously. Then it ended up getting canceled. And the fallout is that we needed a new promoter, new person to kind of take it and start running with it. And it just kept going. So this is year 3 now that I've been the promoter for it.
Awesome.
Fantastic family. I couldn't ask for a better group to work with. During COVID, previously our event had always been held, this is the 14th year, and previously it had always been held Memorial Day weekend. When COVID came about, the venue that we were at became a immunization site, testing facility, that type of thing. And so we weren't sure as we were moving forward and things were starting to open up again. We knew we wanted to do the cook-off, but we had always previously had a rodeo also in conjunction with the cook-off. So we, at the group, collectively took a step back and said, you know what, this is actually a perfect opportunity for us to be able to split our event, increase the opportunity to raise money, which is obviously the end goal for us. Split it up and let's have 2 events. And so now we have Memorial Day weekend, which is coming up. That is the Rodeo Classic, and that is held at NRS, an amazing facility in Decatur. Draws some of the most world famous riders that participate. I mean, they come from all over the United States to ride in this event. So we do that Friday and Saturday, Sunday, Monday. They have bull riding. They have roping, a big roping event, a big barrel racing event. That goes on all weekend. And then we picked, tried to find a great date that reflected the organization, kept Danny in mind, and we picked Patriots Day. And the year that we launched it, actually, September 11th was on that Saturday that we had the first cook-off, and we split the event. So we still keep it the second weekend in September. This year it'll be September 8th and 9th, and we have changed venues. We are moving over to in Waller. It's Jellystone, Yogi Bear Jellystone Park is where it's going to be held this year.
All right.
And that being,
go ahead.
We just switch. Yeah, we just decided to switch venues because we have also switched over to, it's going to be a KCBS event this year, which is a first. It's previously been IBCA, and we are excited about the change and bringing in cooks from across the United States.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Gray, what's happening, Gray? Dutch. Okay, Dutch, I apologize to you for the show starting a few moments late. There you go. Your on-air apology. Now leave me alone.
You want to get down here and deliver the mail, Dutch?
It was traffic, but that was beside the point.
Don't tell him what.
He'll find out at 6:05 when I call him.
You come direct to traffic then, Dutch. Get him here early.
So, before we get into the cook-off, can you give us a rundown and information on who Danny was? You know, I know there's some people who we've talked, I've spoken about it, and, you know, obviously he was a Navy SEAL. He was paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country. I'm not going to do this any justice. I'm just going to butcher it. So please, you know, tell us who Danny was.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to let people know, obviously, is to start, you know, I always start with, have you seen the movie Lone Survivor with Mark Wahlberg? And that's always it's a very popular movie, done very well. Marcus was actually in the movie, and it does a fantastic job of telling the story of the guys that lost their lives that day. So Danny was a member of a 4 team. There were 4 guys that went out just to do some reconnaissance, and 3 of them ended up losing their lives. And Marcus, of course, was the lone survivor and that's Operation Red Wings. So I get emotional. It's hard to talk about. It still is. It's one of those things. People ask me why I do this. I wasn't in the military. I wasn't a first responder. My dad was in the military. He's a veteran. And every night that I'm able to go to sleep and live in this great country, and they are the reason why. And so this is the very smallest thing that I can actually do to do my part to pay back and say thank you. And so we raise funds for veterans, surviving spouses, first responders. Primarily, our focus is covering needs that are not met through giant benevolent, charities that give money, or when they are really in need. And there's a lot of avenues for these guys and gals to pursue to handle their PTSD that is not covered through health insurance or VA benefits. And so we consider ourselves to be an immediate need. You apply, we review, and we usually have an answer back within 24 to 48 hours, and able to assist these folks. One of the things that Patsy, which is Danny's widow, another good friend of mine, Carrie Mills, her husband was killed in Extortion 17. I've been honored to become friends, very close friends with some surviving spouses. And one of the things that they always point out is that when tragedy happens, they're just overwhelmed with folks, helping and assisting and doing whatever it is that they need immediately. But when a soldier is killed or when law enforcement is killed, their paycheck stops the moment that they die, and so it becomes an immediate need. Which, fortunately, we have enough patriots in the United States that there is a huge step up for them to assist them and help them. But what happens is a few years go by, and all of a sudden, it's not in the limelight anymore. It's not in the news anymore. But the need for these people is still there.
Yeah.
And so we focus more on that end of it. We've assisted people in paying their taxes. We've assisted kids in college tuitions, things that are further down the line, and able to assist. But I guess our biggest is, we fight really hard for this PTSD treatment and getting these guys the help that they need by any means necessary. And that is that we provide these grants and send them to these programs, because it's just an unacceptable number of the amount of people that we lose every day.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a little incident this week with a school on a video. The school reported to us a video was circulating through the kids about a person committing an act. We'll just leave it at that. So we had to have the conversation with the kids and, explain, listen, there's many reasons we don't know. But especially with our military folks, the PTSD it's a serious thing. And I forget, forgive me on the number, but I think the last I heard it was somewhere upwards of 21 soldiers a day because of the PTSD.
22 a day.
Yeah.
22 a day is the slogan that they use, and sadly, I'm friends with a Gold Star organization, Mothers Organization, and it's astounding that they use that 22 a day when the actual number is closer to 50.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there was I'm part of an email group, and I get updates. But we lost another SEAL yesterday. A very notoriety. He's very, very well known, established author, and actually he lost that battle yesterday. It's just, the mental health crisis in the United States is I would say, top priority, just all around. I mean, it's just astounding the stories that you hear and what, I'm sure your kids are young and that they even have to deal and process with this stuff. It just blows my mind what it's come to.
Yeah, it really has, and it seems that no matter how much you or me or different organizations try to bring our military and our veterans and any issues from protecting and serving this country of ours, try to bring it to the forefront, it seems to just stop. We can't get it any further. No matter how hard we try, and God knows, especially seeing what you do, you go above and beyond as often as you can, and it just seems to fall on deaf ears a lot of times. That people don't want to acknowledge it or bring it to a forefront that there is a serious problem that needs to be addressed, and they kind of brush it away. So,
it's a root of all evil situation. Jason Redmond, who's a former SEAL or a Navy SEAL, very well known, and he posted earlier on Instagram, and he said, I've tried, and so many people have tried, and how do we fix this? And no one has the answer. And I always fall back to, not to get political, but I always fall back into, until big pharma gets out of it, it's not going to change. I mean, you turn on the TV, you scroll through Instagram, anywhere, every other thing is try this medicine, take this medicine, try this medicine, and it's just, until big pharma gets out of it, I don't think there's going to be a change until people stop making profit.
Yeah. 70% of commercials on television are commercials for medicines. And it is, and out of the entire world, and here's a scary stat of it. Out of the entire world, only the United States and New Zealand allow it. So everywhere else, the big pharma and pharmaceutical companies cannot advertise on television.
Oh yeah, I was astounded when I moved here. I'm like, what is this? Like, yeah, I've never seen that before in my life. Like 30-something years in Australia, I've never seen it. And then I came here and I'm like, Jesus, they just pump out these ads.
Yeah.
It blew my mind.
But that's a great point, Jen, that once...
I give them clever names and catchy phrases, and their marketing people are just all over it. And
a 1-minute disclaimer at the end of all the bad things that might happen to you.
Yeah, we start out, wait a minute, do I want a headache or do I want all those other things?
Yeah. I flabbergasted.
I remember the comedian Jeff Foxworthy, he had a bit, of listening to all these. He goes, sometimes the side effects are worse than thing. He goes, you deal with this, 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 and this. He goes, I'll just deal with the itchy water of your eyes.
Right.
But
absolutely.
Moving forward. So the Danny Dietz Memorial Classic Cookoff. How many teams are involved? Is it an open event? Is it an invitational event? A little bit of both?
So it's an open event. Obviously, our Grand and Reserve each year have returning spots, free entries. It's open to whomever signs up and pays their registration fee. We have had, the most that we've had is 104 teams. And I feel like this year, just judging by the responses and people that have contacted me, we're probably going to end up having to cap it at 100 teams. That's just due to space, timing for KCBS, getting things in, getting people, we're not 100% steadfast yet. It's funny coming over to start working with Yogi Bear, and you would just assume it's easy peasy, but man, they have a legal team. So we are still working on contracts and things like that. But they're very particular on what you can say with Yogi, what you can do with Yogi, and how you can advertise him. So we're working on that, finishing up the legal end of it. But it is, like I said, the most we've had is last year we had 86 teams. And, we're shooting for around the same number. It's a lot. It's a big event. And eventually my goal is to have Danny Dietz to the level of the Jack and the Royal. When somebody says, what is the ultimate cook-off? Well, I want Danny Dietz to be in that list. And we felt that being in Texas, KCBS doesn't have a huge presence here anymore, or as strong as they would like. And they are very much interested in increasing that, getting their name down here. And this event works perfectly for them. So that's the route we want to go. That's where we want to get. Like I said, it's our first year with them. They're excited. We're excited. We've had teams from South Carolina, Maine, Oregon, all across the United States that have already reached out. And I'm like, when can we sign up? Where do we sign up? And it's funny because on the website for KCBS, when you have to enter all your information, what your guaranteed payout's going to be. And our payout for this event is $35,000. And I've had, 5 or 6 cooks message me, email or call, and be like, I think there's a mistake on the website. Like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, I think you added an extra 0 or something. I'm like, no, it's $35,000. And in KCBS, that's pretty much unheard of. Yeah. So they're excited about that. In addition to, our event is 2 weeks in advance to the Royal. So it is perfect practice for them to come out and, perfect their recipes, hang out in an amazing place. Like I said, Yogi Bear, people can look it up. It's got a lazy river. There's a swim up bar. Pretty sure that's where y'all are going to find me the whole time. They have water slides for the kids. There's miniature golf. It's a fantastic venue. So they can relax after the cook-off and then head on up to the Royal. And I said, it's perfect practice for them.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. So capping at 100 teams, KCBS, and it's good to go. So obviously with KCBS, we're down to 4 proteins, brisket, chicken, pork, and ribs. While, what was it? What'd you say it was before? Was it IBCA?
IBCA.
Yeah.
And that's 3 meats. So this is new. It's, the cooks out here, we have CDA now, which is a fantastic organization as well. And CDA has 4 meats. So it's not that these guys are not used to cooking the pork. So it's new for some, but a lot of them are excited about it and they're ready to go. So we're excited about it. We're still tossing up in the air. I do know we're going to do a Bloody Mary on Saturday morning, but we're looking at a Friday night event. If we're going to do an SCA type event, or if we're going to do a turkey smoke, something that kind of gets them involved on Friday night. We'll also have the JPA Kids Queue on Saturday, which is fantastic. Just love watching the kids come out and cook. They cook steaks as well. So it's a fun family event. And it's, most cooks will tell you when you arrive at our event, there's a different feel.
Yes.
I'm not going to say that it's a party cook-off, because we have a good time. Don't get me wrong. We have a fantastic time. But we're there to honor the memory of Danny, and we are there to raise money. And that's first and foremost is what we focus on.
Yeah.
So, it's a good time. Don't get me wrong. We have a fantastic time. But the cooks will tell you when you show up, it's a different feel. It's just a different type of event.
Yeah. Going through the Facebook page and seeing all the pictures and, just like a lot of everything, everyone's having a good time. You got the picture of the kids, and then I stumbled upon a a couple pictures of a couple suspects that I might be involved with. So you saw Bill Purvis from Chicken Fried Barbecue. I saw Jonathan Barton and Ryan Newland from Barton's Barbecue and Backline Smokers. Rob Arosha from Bullhorn Barbecue and the So Smoking Goodest show. But, I've talked to all those.
Danny Dietz is nemesis. Danny Dietz is Rob's nemesis. He won't quit. He'll keep coming back every year, but he's like, eventually I'm gonna walk.
Oh, and then that's what he told me. He goes, I haven't walked yet, but he goes, I have to. So I'll be there every year. But each one of them had said that this event it's special. It's a must cook. So if you were having some, obviously the amount of cook-offs, especially in Texas, there's a lot of overlap, especially with the different organizations. And, he goes, if there's 3 on that one day, the Danny Dietz is the one we're cooking. 100%. And he goes, it's just the whole thing of, the cook-off itself, the whole meaning behind it, the memorial behind it is just fantastic. But with a lot of cook-off, well, not a lot of cook-offs, what am I talking about? All cook-offs, everybody involved always talks about wanting to get the wok, and when you get the wok, you get some hardware. Now, you were telling me that yeah, go ahead.
Let me show you here. I should have been better prepared.
That's fine.
But I have one.
That these trophies are extremely meaningful. In general,
this is it.
That's the trophy, the oar.
Yeah, this is the paddle. We call it the battle for the paddle. And what these are there's a whole story. When you are retired or done with your service, Navy SEALs receive these. And we actually have these made by a Navy SEAL. And so there are 3 that you can get each year from the cook-off. So it's Grand, Reserve, and then our sponsor, which is why I have one, because I was a sponsor. So this is what they fight for. This is the ultimate award, along with a lot of cash and a belt buckle and some other things that we give out. But that's it. That's what they're fighting for, is that battle, the paddle there. And we have at our event, hopefully you can make it down if you can, but at our event, we have numerous SEALs that attend. Love it. They come and hang out. They're really just waiting to eat barbecue. But we have numerous SEALs, and whichever SEAL that year decides, we actually discuss the story behind the paddle prior to awards. So if someone's new and they aren't familiar with it, then they understand the meaning behind it and who it was made by and what it actually means to receive one of these.
Yeah. The again, how do we like to call it? The forgive me, that the allergies are acting up a little bit right now. It's when you told me that each one was made by a SEAL, and you know that they're putting their heart and soul and everything they've been through and the memories of everybody they've served with, brothers they've lost, from the beginning of the SEALs in the military for that matter. You know every ounce of that goes into those paddles, and that's yeah. Forgive me, I'm sorry.
It's special. It's very,
No.
very special.
It's there isn't a man, and they, you barbecue guys, y'all are all rough and tumble and have a mouth on you and talk a good game, but every year there's really not a dry eye in the house. You know, from the biggest, toughest guy that's out there, they all tear up, and you should. You know, that's what it's about is understanding the sacrifice that was made. You know, not just Danny and not Axe and not Michael. You know, it was every day the sacrifices that are made, active duty people that are still fighting for us. This is what they do. And so we want, and I've said it many times, I want you to cry and I want you to remember why we're here. And I say half of my wardrobe is, Danny. It's because if you say their name and you say their name, they're never forgotten.
100%.
And so that's what we do, a roll call, and that's usually where it starts for Operation Red Wings, because there was actually 19 military servicemen that were killed in that operation. And so when we do the roll call, that's generally where we all start crying.
Yeah.
And we get past that, and then we start celebrating, who won and move on. So I will never apologize for it. Like I said, I just kind of tell people to be prepared. It is emotional, but I want you to feel it, and I want you to understand why we do this.
Yeah, like I said, folks, today's episode is not just an everyday episode. This is an extremely special one. And, we do have a couple of the boys. Let's see, Juke Moreno, what's happening? Kyle, Big Rome, Uncle Steve, Big Kano. And and speaking of devil, there's Robert Rocha right there. And lightening the mood a bit. Yogi Bear was an excellent Yankees catcher. There you go, Rob. Yeah, he's missing a letter, or drop one, or move it around, however you want to talk with. But then he comes right back and says, "I'm fighting for this gorilla off my back," because, like you said, he wants that walk. Vince, what's happened? The paddle is one of the hardest trophies to win. Absolutely, I agree with that. And even Kent here says, "Mags, grab C Mac and Miss Mary, and I'll meet you in Texas." Dude, don't tempt me.
Yeah,
I go with that new rig. I can just hook it to the back of the truck, and we're gone. We're gonna have to discuss that. We'll have to discuss that.
We're a small group as far as Danny Dietz, and when I say small, and there's 3 of us that put this cook-off on, essentially. It's a labor of love.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't talk to each other for a little while, but it's myself and Vince Colanetta, who is also a cook, and he is the founder, creator of Smoking Wizard. Without him, I would lose my mind, I'm sure. But and then we have a new person joining us this year, Jeremy Canepa. Day of, boots on the ground as far as our team. There's a lot of people, but the preparation from now until September, it's myself and Vince and Jeremy. And,
Awesome.
It's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and Vince was
a lot of hard work.
Yeah, Vince was the one who said that the paddle is one of the hardest trophies to win. So, yeah, so like I said, my hat's off to all of yous. What you're doing is beyond tremendous, beyond amazing. Any other adjective you want to throw into it. Hold on. Robert Roach, it's an amazing event, and I will always attend for everything Jen has mentioned and more. It's definitely for more than barbecue. Well said, Rob. Well said, brother, for sure. Yeah. I'm still choked. I'm still choked up here. So folks, I apologize. But like I said, we love our veterans, we love our military, all our first responders, everybody, and We should do whatever the hell we can, as much as we can, as often as we can. And, especially the ones who have given it all with the ultimate sacrifice, that it shouldn't be forgotten. And what you guys are doing for Danny and the rest of the boys, you're doing God's work there, darling.
It's the least I can do. That's what I tell people. It's the least I can do.
Yes.
And, I'll continue to do it.
Awesome. Well, Jenn, thank you so much for reaching out. Thank you for your time to talk about this wonderful special event. And just to liven this up a little bit before we completely finish this out. How did you know it was me in Houston? I'm walking around trying to find your tent in the booth, and I got the map 6 ways to Sunday, trying to figure out none of the whatever you want to call it, streets, roads, alleys, walkways are technically labeled, but they got little signs at like hip level, a lot of them, with thousands of people walking around. Guess what? You can't see it. So here I am, and we're walking, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I think it's around here somewhere. Then all of a sudden, you jump right in the middle of me and go, who's the one with the Yankee accent? So did you hear me coming, or?
So you were standing right in front of OBR's tent, Operation Barbecue Relief, and I had ran over there to talk to them about something. And as I was coming out of the tent, I heard you talking to whoever was in your group. I apologize, I forgot the gentleman's name that you were talking to. He also has a podcast show. But I heard your voice, and we don't hear that voice in Texas very often, or hardly ever. But, you have a loud, booming voice. And so, but the accent, and you're like, it was the way you said, where the hell is this? But it was, in your accent. And I knew right away. I was like, I know who that is. But yeah, who is this Yankee down here in Texas? And
guilty
undeniable.
as charged.
But you couldn't hide it.
Oh yeah, we got a good chuckle out of that. We got a nice picture, and and right there, friends for life. Oh,
Absolutely, yeah.
Beautiful thing. Well, Jenn, like I said, thank you so much. Where can everybody find you? Find the Cookoff on all the social media platforms.
So, Danny Dietz Memorial Classic Cookoff is the page on Facebook. There's also one on Instagram. My pseudo name is Jenn Leigh. That's actually, people think that's my last name. That's actually my middle name. On Facebook, you can go to DannyDietzMemorial.com. That is the website, and click on the barbecue link. And as we start updating and opening registration, that's where we'll put everything. Social media, Facebook and Instagram is where you're going to get all of your updates. So like, follow, we'll keep you posted.
All right. And if there's anybody out there that would, like to help out or volunteer their time, to the message on all the pages, and you or somebody will get back to them?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm really good about responding to messages. Just shoot me a message or comment on there. Of course, we're looking for sponsors, volunteers. It's a big endeavor. So absolutely, shoot me a message and I will get right back to them. Awesome.
Well, Jenn, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate everything you do. Hang in there 1 second. I'll jump right back in with you. Awesome, Chrissy.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can you say? What an amazing event, an amazing group of people to put it on.
Yeah.
Jenn included, obviously. I will say, if you don't know about Danny Dietz and you haven't seen Lone Survivor, go watch it. Watch it tonight. It's a great movie. I know that might sound weird being subject matter, but it really is a great movie. Like that's the reason I know who he is. As soon as you mentioned it, I'm like, oh my God, like. I don't do a lot of like war movies and stuff, if you will, but that movie always stuck with me from the second I saw it. Like, what an incredible film. Sad, obviously, but go watch it if you haven't seen it. Yeah,
because I remember it was an interview with Marcus Luttrell.
Yep.
And they were talking about the movie and what he thought. And like Jen had said that, he worked with them. He was in it and worked with them on it.
Yeah.
And he had said, he goes, there was no way they were going to take any Hollywood privileges.
Yeah, and maybe that's why I liked it so much, because it just felt very real. Like
because with what happened.
Yeah. You're not trying to sensationalize
especially, he was with them. He was there.
Yeah.
And, they did a fantastic job on it.
And like she was saying, like, if you keep mentioning their names, that's how they live on. So if you haven't seen the movie, go check it out. And even if you have, go check it out. I might even go watch it again tonight.
That's it. And, like I said,
their legacy lives on,
They're, always looking for sponsors. So anybody who, might be able to help and do all that, reach out. They'll be more than loving to have you.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for the website, if you go to our in our comments below, not the comments, sorry, the show notes below, we have a link to the memorial website as well. So check it out. It has both events, I think, on the page there. I was looking at it today myself. So if you want all the information, there's stuff there for you too, and sign-up sheets and all that.
All right.
So that's it, I guess.
That's it.
Yeah.
Next week is we're going real traveling.
Oh,
we're going to be in Georgia, I believe, Georgia, South Africa.
Wow.
And I almost want to say New Zealand, but don't hold me to that. All in one show.
Wow.
So.
And yet I'll be here.
And you'll be here representing Australia.
Woo.
We're good.
Yeah. I got the Aussies.
Well, that's it for this week, folks. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Catch the audio wherever podcasts are found. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. You have all our episodes right there at your fingertips. Find us at all the social media links listed down below. Questions or comments, please send them to Pit Life BBQ Podcast at gmail.com. And like always, subscribe, like, rate, and review. Hit that share button. And until next week, keep the smoke rolling.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.